One of the top questions that I get asked all the time is, what are the most popular tools that people are buying? What should I keep an eye out for? What are the best deals? What's hot? What's not? So what I've done is I've compiled a list of all the tools that people bought using our links, because that's how I got the data. We're using our links over the last year, 2022. This is the top tools that people bought via Amazon. Now, why Amazon? Amazon's quickly becoming one of the top go-to hardware stores out there. You got Home Depot, you got Lowe's, you got Menards, you got Harbor Freight. Ace is in the mix, but you know what? We're not quite exactly sure, but it's quickly becoming the easy, convenient go-to place to get a lot of your tools, and they have a lot of sales. So let's see what people scooped up in 2022. This is based on dollar volume, not actual individual items, because that would be like razor blades or something. People are always buying stuff like that. So here's what we got. The first thing we got here is we've got the Top-Don Jump Surge Jump Starters. Jump starters become a huge thing. Everyone's realizing, you know what? The days of standing by the side of the road, jumper cables in hand, going, can you stop and give me a jump? Those are over, because you've got right here with this, you've got your ability to jumpstart your own vehicles. Now, these days, I won't drive a vehicle that doesn't have one of these in there. You know, it's all part of our emergency just in case kit. And honestly, I've used them way more to help other people than help myself. And the best part is, I don't have to hook up my vehicle to their vehicle, because I don't know what's going on over there. I would much rather plug one of these in, get them up and going. I can still be the good Samaritan, getting the job done. Don't have to risk my vehicle with their sketchy electronics. Anyway, the number one go-to one was the Top-Don 2000 amp peak battery. Now, this is a good sized jump starter. There's a lot of juice in this. It's well made, comes with a great case. One of the things I love about it's all kind of nice and tidy in there. Now, currently selling for $119.95. We did have a coupon code on it that would bring the price down quite a bit. Now, I did reach out to Top-Don and ask them, hey, can you get us one of those coupon codes again? If I manage to get that, if I hear back from them, I will put it in the link down below. So don't worry. As always, the links are down in the video description. I will put the link for the coupon code if they decide to offer one up. Now, that said, one of the things we don't talk about with them is they have other different sizes. If you need more juice, they've got the JS3000. This brings all the battery packs. 9-liter gas, 7-liter diesel engine. That's what this thing is capable of. But it's $190 or $189.95. That said, I always say don't buy more tool than you really need. Now, maybe buy as much tool as you might need. Like, hey, I don't drive this, but I have friends. I know people who do. I live in a community with a lot of big trucks. Maybe get that. But you know what? If you don't need that, they've got this one for $70, $69.95. This is the 1200. This will do a 6.5 liter or a 4-liter diesel. The diesel, trust me, our diesels they need extra juice. That's why mine has 2 batteries in it. Anyway, this is a great little, pack to have here. It's not as big. I don't know if it comes with the case like the other ones do. You have to think that it does, but I'm not going to guess that. It doesn't show up in the picture, so it probably doesn't. Anyway, $70. Again, don't spend the money you don't have to. And if I get coupon codes for any of these, again, I'll put them down below. Now let's jump over to one of the hottest topics that people have been buying coming into this year has been, and I know all the guys who did this and gals, they're thrilled that they picked up a generator, because this winter has been crazy. All right, if you're near the Great Lakes in the Midwest, the Northeast, up here in Montana, it has been just off the hook insane with the winter snowstorms and the deep cold. In fact, here, we didn't even have a ton of snow when that big cold snap hit. It was negative 27 before the wind chill, all right? It was bitter cold, even for Montana. And guess what happened? The worst night, power went out in about a third of the town. Luckily we had more than a couple generators, because we test these kind of things. I rang up all my friends and stuff. Hey, do I need to bring you a generator? Do I have to do? And we were able to help some people out. Hopefully, though, for everyone who got one of these, you were already covered. Now, Champion, I say, is probably what I consider a Tier 2 generator. Tier 1 generators are like Honda and the big names like that. Tier 2, I would consider Generac, but the Generac portable generators, not that great. The high-end stationary generators, fantastic. I've had one in my RV. I've had one in a boat I had. The big ones, great. The small portable ones, not so much. But the Champion is a Tier 2. Honda's a Tier 1. Predator from Harbor Freight, that's a Tier 2. Anyway, great generators. This one is the top selling one that people bought. There were some great, crazy sales this past year. If you've not subscribed, you see it says chomp the like button down there. Well, also smash the subscribe, because We do deals of the week every Monday. Plus, we do other deals as we find stuff coming up. So you're going to miss out on them if you're not subscribed. Anyway, so other things, Champion, that's the nice thing about Champion is they always seem to have a deal going. Look at this. These are all the ones that they have right now. Look at this, the 8,500 watt super quiet fully enclosed generator. That one's on sale, 18% off on this one, 26% off on the 9375 7500. That's a dual fuel generator. That means it takes gas and propane. For those of you who don't know, the propane kind of knocks down the power level a little bit, but it lets you have an alternative source. If you're running off an RV, you can plug that RV propane tank right into it. So anyway, something to keep in mind there. Now let's see what else we've got here. The ProLift. This was a huge one. People went nuts over this cart. Now I'll say this: it's not as big. It's not a huge cart. It's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit narrower. It's an accessory tool cart. This isn't like a storage cart. This is when I'm doing these kind of jobs and I want to, rather than going back and forth for all my tools, I can set up the tools I'm using for that project, put them in there. And the best part I like about this is if I'm working on something, I take something out of the car, I can put it on the table on the top of this because look at this, when it's closed, that's a nice little work surface. But then I need to get in there. Well, on most of the other carts, like the US General kind of carts, all that, well, you got to take everything off so you can lift that up. With this, it butterflies open like that, or just slides open, and then you can leave all the stuff on top, case in point, so you can actually get to that stuff, get in there, and not have to move everything around. I love that. And for I think it was $120, something like that, was a great deal. Currently not available, right? Well, guess what? Ironton, now that's the same people that's the brand from Northern Tool. That's their house brand. Same cart, just in black. If you like black better than red, there you go. It's $130. It's a little bit more, but for that style of cart, I think that's a heck of a deal. All right, let's move along. Next up was X-Tool. This is an OBD2 reader, and this was a huge hit with people because people could not believe the software in this thing, what it could do. I had professional mechanics who got this for their home vehicle calling me up and being like, dude, this thing is insane. It does stuff that my reader at work won't do. I couldn't believe it. I'm not a professional mechanic. I don't know like the super top end stuff that ODB2 readers will do. I just do the basic stuff with it, find out what's going on with the vehicle, take its temperature, that kind of thing. But if you're really looking for something, this was a great one to do it. But unfortunately, they've pulled it. They no longer sell it. And they replaced it with something a bit more expensive. A bit. Look at this. This is their new version, the X-Tool AnyScan. Now, this has a lot more features, all right? It'll check right there. It'll show, when you plug in it tells you what the output there is, the battery voltage. So it tells you immediately the battery voltage. Also, check this out. This is kind of cute. Where's the picture of it? There you go. It's got right down there. It's got a built-in flashlight. So when you're under the dash, you can see what you're doing. I always do it by sense of feel anyway. But I'm never looking down there. Is it better? I don't. Apparently the software is even upgraded even more. EVAP test, injector test, EGR, AC clutch on and off, ABS, fuel pump, cooling fan test, compression test. Does quite a bit for an OBD2 reader, huh? Anyway, it's $129. You get a 20% off coupon. That's going to knock, was that 20 some bucks? Takes it down to almost $100. It's got free updates on it, bi-directional. This is quite the scan tool for an ODB2 reader that's Bluetooth, all right? All right, let's see what else we got here from them. This is the other one. This is a completely separate one that people bought a ton of these. If you're looking for something that you just plug in, has the information right there, you don't have to get your phone out or your tablet or anything else, and you just want the data. This is a pretty solid reader here. We're looking at the N Plus there, the IP508S, I think it's called. Again, it's another OBD2 reader. This one is not Bluetooth. Throttle reset, ABS, injector, SAS, oil, EPB, try to get that one out, TPMS resets and such, BMS resets, and DPF regen, all right? So all of that is $229, and they have a $30 off coupon that's going to take it down to sub $200. That's the thing with these, with the X-Tool. They're really price competitive, and they're feature rich for the money. All right, let's move along, see what we got up next. This thing, I got to tell you, this was one I didn't want to like. Because it seemed very generic, very simple, and it is. Not lying to you. It doesn't have a ton of whiz-bang features. You're not going to hook your phone up to it and give yourself all these, metric kind of things that tells you it did this and it did that, blah, blah, blah. It's a battery in a box. but it's a lot of battery in a box. Now, is it the LifePo batteries that I prefer? No, it's not. This is lithium ion. This is the same batteries that are like in your power tools and stuff like that. Solid batteries. Just they're not going to get a lifetime of charges out of it, but this should still last you like 5 years easily. Anyway, the EBL here, this is a 1,000 watt. It'll surge up to 2,000. That's the thing with a lot of these electric battery banks. They'll double in power when needed. You can run small AC units off of this thing if you wanted to. Now, how long you're going to be able to run it for, that's another matter. It's got 1,000 watt hours, 999 watt hours. So it can run for a while at that 1,000. And you know what? But that's not what I use it for. This thing is, compared to a lot of the battery banks, and if you see my tour of my shop, you know I got a lot of these things. These things are, this one at least, is small. It's like this big by that big. It's lunchbox size. And you know, one of my features that I say it has to have is the handle has to fold down. I hate the ones where the handle doesn't fold down, so I can't stack anything else on it when I'm traveling and whatnot. I use this thing all the time. I use it around the shop. If I need to plug something in and there's just not a cable nearby, I could string an extension cord over there, blah, blah. I could string an extension cord over there. Well, you know, when we had this at the house, it was sitting over here because in the living room, and that's where I am. I'm in the living room of the house. I'll sit over in my chair. The missus sits in her chair. The kids spread around and stuff. And there's always that one chair that just isn't near a charging station. The kids like to hang out and, plug in their stuff and let it charge or use it because they never have it charged. So they always go and grab one of these. And this is the one that everyone likes because it's not that heavy. It's small. It's got 1,000 watts in that box. That's what I can't believe is how small it is with 1,000 watts and the price. You're looking at $7.99. That's not that cheap. Well, there's a $300 off coupon that takes it down to $500. That's 50 cents a watt hour. It's not feature rich. It doesn't have a ton of whiz bang kind of things. It just does what it does. It does a ton of power in a small package for not much money. You get the two 110s. You got three USB A's. You got one USB C. Now 60 watts rather than 100 watts. It's good enough, folks. You got the 12 volt also. You know what? That's what I use these things for a lot, is I'm constantly running into situations, and I never thought I would, but somehow I'm constantly running into these situations where I've got something that I would normally run in a car or comes with a car adapter, and rather than, I could go buy a 24 volt or a 110 adapter and plug it into, I got one of these boxes. I can always plug it into that. I run a mini fridge off of it when we travel, that kind of stuff. Tons of uses for these things. I know I'm going on and on about it. That's how much I like this box. And I'm stunned because I'm really kind of a power snob. Like I like the Bluettis and I like the EcoFlows. They're fabulous boxes, but for small portable power that I just need the basic power, I'm not going to be like powering my house or my camper or something off of. This is the way to go. All right, next up, this is a must-have if you own a house, or especially if you own an RV. Anything where you're tracing power lines and you got a circuit breaker, this thing will find what line is going where. You plug it in and it chases it. We used to call these kind of things a fox and a hound. That's the tone set box kind of stuff we'd run when doing Cat 5, Cat 6 kind of runs, trying to figure out where everything's were. This does the same thing though for a power line, and it's fantastic. You just get up next to your circuit breakers, you scan down. It's not perfect. A lot of people are like, well, I couldn't tell. There is a slight art to it, but it's better than every other one that's out there in the market. On top of that, the tool you plug into the socket is also a socket tester. So it's a 2-in-1 tool on top of it for $45. Now they also, for $5 more, they sell this version, which was a hot seller, which adds test probes and 2 socket adapters. One lets you plug it into a lamp socket so you can test the lamp socket. Another one, and I say lamp when I'm thinking more like, a bulb in the ceiling, that kind of thing. And the other one is a 3-prong to 2-prong adapter. That little package there for $5. Yeah, I'd buy that for $5. So might as well throw that in there. I was astounded how many people bought this. Not because of how good it is. It is fabulous. But the people out there who are stepping up and spending this kind of money, $600, that's not cheap. And I was astounded to see this on the list. I thought there'd be a lot more of the budget solutions stuff. This is the go-to one. And I have to say, you can't go wrong with this. This is a fabulous saw. I wish I had this saw in my shop. I've got the Rigid that's basically a clone of this saw that the Rigid slash Delta company sent to me. I can't justify paying $600 to replace it, but I think about it because this saw is that good. Now, that said, the competitor to this saw, and you're like $600, 8% off. Yeah, the competitor to this saw, if you want something that's as good, maybe a smidge better, is the Makita. And look at the price on that. That used to be the same price. The Bosch and the Makita used to be side by side. And then the you know what happened that YouTube won't let me say. When that happened and they started printing money, inflation went crazy. Well, Makita went along with it. $762. That thing has gone up in price. It's a fantastic saw. Is it worth that money? If I'm a pro, yeah, I'd probably say it's worth that money. But again, am I going to use it on the job site? I don't think so, because the benefit of these saws is using it in a shop because it has that zero rear clearance. So it can come right up against the wall. You don't have to, you see a lot of miter saw stations, how they stick out into the room. Well, you don't have to do that with these because they fit flush against a wall. All right, the Win planer. I've talked about this one so much because it is probably, and I say probably, is in my opinion and the Bears' opinion, we talked about this kind of thing. It's the best bang for the buck, weekend warrior kind of planer out there. It's a spiral cutter head. Now, somebody commented and said, it's not this kind of metal. It's a slightly stop. It's not carbide tip. It's HSS blades. All right. You can get carbide, they're easily replaceable. That's one thing I like about these kind of blades is they're little square blades on this cutter head, and they just little screwdriver, you just take them on and off. It's not like putting a blade, one of the longer blades in where you got to worry about your fingers falling off and stuff because those things are sharp. Anyway, $396, not the current sale price, but it's a decent price for the money compared to what else is out there. You know what? I might have to take that back. I thought that is actually a pretty good price. I've been comparing it since what we've been following for Black Friday. It dropped to this price in around Thanksgiving, and it's been at that price since then. So this has been the price for the last month, but before this, it's normally selling at $429, has popped up to around $450. So it's still at its lowest price. In fact, we see this a lot with stuff on Amazon. They'll coast through until like the third week or so of January. Then they know that people start thinking about spring and those prices start heading back up. All right, let's move along. We got up next the Yes Welder. This is a great welder. Now, Yes Welder did send me this one, so I do have this in the shop. $379 on this. Well, with a $100 coupon, that's going to knock that down to $280, $279.99, $280 for a 110 220. So it'll run on both. You don't have 220 in your shop? Not a problem. You're not going to get the same level of penetration and stuff from a 110 as you are on a 220. So just remember that. But for a plasma cutter, if you want the power to cut steel, there's so many things you can do. You can think of. You're like, well, how many blades I go? Just pop out the plasma cutter, hook up your air compressor, and you go to town, and it's done. You trust me. Who doesn't want a plasma cutter, especially for $280? All right, let's go along here. The Work Pro. I know I say this all the time. Look at this. This is sitting on my desk because I was just looking for knives, and I have Work Pro sent me knives like this. I must have a dozen of these knives, if not more. Here's the box of utility blades they also sent me. This is what's on my desk because people have stolen everything else. These knives are coveted in this family, and people are hoarding them. There's probably like 3 or 4 of them in the bottom of the washing machine, if I'm being honest, because I'll put them in my jeans, and they're so slim, you forget they're there. Now, you've heard me talk about these before, but and they're one of the best sellers here. I think they're number 10 or so on the list. But then they recently came out with the pastel color pack. I actually had those in my hand for about 45 seconds before my wife swiped them and kept all 3. All 3. Not sure how she justified it. Well, she's my wife. She doesn't have to justify anything. She's just like, thanks, walks away. At least she's cute. Anyway, the one I want to get my paws on is this one. Now, WorkPro did send me another one, which again is missing, but it's a full-size utility knife that uses that same, the quick release. Right here, that little button right there. Basically, it's a positive lock when it's closed. It's positive lock when it's open. You press the button, though, and it just flips open. Flips closed, flips open. It's great. Let me see if I can play the video on here for you so you can see what this thing does, because The big one is nice, and I'll keep it around the shop, but as an everyday carry, it's too bulky for me. But look at the size of this. It fits in the palm of your hand. It's nice and slim, and look at that. Look at that. That is, I love that. And you know what? I hear lots of people tell, they'll show me their pocket knife, and they're like, you know what? It cuts like a razor. You know what cuts like a razor? Razors. Just saying. All right, next up, we got more power for you from Win. This is the number 2 selling generator over the last year. This is the Win DF 1100T. This is a 11,000 watt generator. This is a big boy, all right? You'll get 120 or 240 out of this. Got to run a welder. There you go. Got to plug it in your house. There you go. Carb compliant. You should be able to use this in every state. We did recently run into one of the viewers. We had a generator on deals of the week yesterday, and somebody in California tried to order it off of Amazon. Amazon's like, you know what? We don't feel like shipping it to California. And he contacted customer support, and they're like, yeah, it's we just don't have one near there, and we'd have to ship it across the country, so we're not going to do it. Never heard that from Amazon before, but anyway, so if you can get it, it's still legal in California, and should be based on the carb compliance ratings and such. But that said, this is a whole home generator. This is a big generator. Is it one of the super quiet, fully enclosed inverter generators? No, but this will bring the power, and for $838, that's a lot of power, all right? I paid twice that much for a super quiet inverter generator that does 9,500 watts, and this is dual fuel. That means you can run it off of propane. That means you can run it off of gas. I don't see why, if you're looking for a large-scale generator, you wouldn't consider that one. Now, the Winds, they have a good selection of generators. They have a good reputation for their generators. They don't go on sale. Look at this. They don't go on sale that much. It's kind of rare to see a good sale. Usually it's like, if there is a sale, there's one that's on sale. But I'm looking at this. Look, one. And a good one, a 2,000 watt generator, nice generator, $350, good price on that. It's the only one currently on sale. So just keep that in mind. Now, speaking about power, again, power's been a big one this past year. The Bluetti, this is the one I love. This is the one I keep with my RV. Why? Because this plug right here, this bigger one, that's a 30 volt plug. You can plug your RV directly into it, and it has saved my fuzzy backside more than once. Now, are you going to run your generator on it, or your generator? You're going to run your RV on it for days? Well, if you got a solar array set up, yeah, you probably can. But like if you're down in Vegas like we are, and it gets hot and stuff, you're running the AC all along, no, it won't do that. Will it run the AC? Yes, it will. It will run the AC in our RV, and it'll run everything in our RV. Now, the question is, how long will it run it for? Well, that's another issue. Anyway, 2,048 watt LifePo. Again, that's the LifePo batteries, not the lithium-ion batteries. That means it will last at least 10 years on recharges. Even if you're recharging every day, this thing has 3,000 to 5,000 recharges. That's the thing about LifePo, and why all these battery banks are going LifePo, because of the recharge capability. 30 amp, you can hook up solars. You could also hook up extension batteries to this thing. You can hook up a lot of juice to the Bluetti, and it's got Bluetooth. You can monitor everything on your phone. You can turn on and off by your phone. You can see where your power is going, where it's coming from. You can manage all that. If you like that kind of data, because I do, I like to nerd out on that kind of stuff. This is a great unit for that. A lot of people pick that up now, though at $1,900. If you were following over the holidays, it got a lot cheaper, and it's not on sale right now. But there's other options there from Bluetti. There's the little ones we've talked about before. They go up. There's the solar panels. They have great solar panels, not cheap solar panels, great solar panels. But they have this one here right now that's currently on sale. It's $1,600, $200. It takes it down to $1,400. Practically the same thing. Not quite as much power. This is 2,000 versus 2,048. It's so close. Anyway, look at the peak on this. 4,800 is the peak on both of those. But this one, here's the thing it doesn't have. It doesn't have the 30 watt capability. That if you're looking to get this for an RV, it's not going to do it. But if you're looking for this for like emergency kind of stuff, you can. That's the nice thing about this. You get a power outage, you can't bring a gas generator inside your house and plug different things into it. This you can. You could come in, plug the fridge into it, plug a freezer into it, plug a fan into it, plug a heater into it. You can do all that right in the house. You don't have to worry about exhaust and stuff like that. That's something to consider. All right, moving along. We got the Astro AI digital pressure gauge. This thing is great. You know what? The day of sitting there with, I know a lot of my friends have them. They still have the little stick, gauges, and I keep one in my truck. I do. In fact, all our vehicles, I've got one. Yeah, it's the basic, like, it gives you an idea. But when I'm at home and I've got my good compressor and I'm filling up, checking the tires, I want to get accurate readings. I want to get them quick. I want to have them easy to read. And it's got the latch-on chuck on it. See right down here, this little spring latch right here. So you clip it on. One-handed operation after that. You just have one-handed operation, period. You clip it on, and then you pull the trigger on this, and you can air it up. You got the pressure or the thumb pressure release right there. You can air it down. You could do it all while looking at a nice big reading on it. Digital. I love that. For $27, I absolutely love this thing. All right, next up. I wanted to talk some more about Astro AI, because we talk about them some other things. They get a lot of great stuff, bang for the buck kind of stuff, and I don't think we talk about them enough. Anyway, I want to talk about, they've got this one because we talked about jump starters before. This is a jump starter / air inflator, where there's another company that's done stuff like this. I really like those combo units because when you're traveling in the car, I do want an air inflator and I do want a jump starter. This gives me both in the package of one, so that's something to consider. What else we got? We got other pressure gauges and all sorts of stuff. We talked about this just the other day. I just bought this multimeter for my son. Nice, basic, easy use multimeter. It's $13. $13. Anyway, they've got a lot of great stuff. Check them out. All right, next up. We got the drill brush. Now, I've talked about the Holic Me, whatever, and some people reached out to me and said, hey, I need to let you know, this was actually invented by a guy in the U.S., in 2005 it was. So I like to respect that. So we're not going to be talking about the other one anymore. We're going to be talking about the drill brush here. It's a U.S. company. I don't believe it's USA made. Maybe it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Put it down in the comments. And if I am, I'll pin it so everyone knows. But I do know it's a guy in the United States, and it's got and the company is based in the U.S., and that's good enough for me there. $40 on this, and you're getting a whole selection of tools. I got to tell you, if you're not cleaning using your drills, you are missing out, brother. Whether you're cleaning the shower door or scrubbing out the tub or the counter and stuff, I use it all the time on my grills, and it does a fabulous job. I could not believe. And you know what else? Now you're not using those wire bristles that could come loose and get stuck in your food. If you don't think that happens, Google it. Wire was it wire grill brush stuck in food, or ER visit. That's it. Look, grill wire brush ER visit. And I apologize right now for the visuals because it's terrifying. Anyway, $40. These don't use it with an impact. All right. You'll just break it using it with an impact. Just use it with the drill. The drill's fine. You don't need an impact on these. Next up, the original commercial grade Rhino Strung air pump / wedge. If you don't have one of these in your toolbox, in your arsenal, you are missing out. All right. Because this thing is great. If I've got cabinets that I'm trying to line up, like on the ground, and I know I'm going to have to shim one side, I can slide one of these up, slowly pump it up, slowly release it and get it to the right height. And then I can put my shim in and I can mount it and I know exactly where it's going to be. And I don't have to fight with it. There's a lot of other uses for air pump shims like this for all sorts of stuff. But you know what? For $22, you get a 3-pack with the plastic tools as well. This will help with everything. I've used it to shim doors. I've used it, what else? Washing machine. I was trying to level my washing machine, and I was able to get it level and then use the little thing to rotate down to set it right because it was walking a little bit in the kitchen there. So there's tons of great uses for these things. Next up, the Nimbot. Okay, this is we showed 2 Nimbots on the channel. This is the one I like, and luckily, apparently, you do too. Because this one, rather than being all round and run by a company that has an ego problem, this is. The Nimbot gets made by a company in China, and then it gets sold in the U.S. by a bunch of different companies. This company is the Nimbot Direct company. The good people with a great product. It's got the more flat edges so you can set it up on or lay it down. It'll take the 2 different sizes of labels that Nimbot makes. It just works, and it's great because you pull it up on your phone. If you just want to do text, you just put the text in. You can put images in. You can do all sorts of stuff, and they come with different kinds of tabs. They even have the kind where it looks like a butterfly, so you can then tape it around a cable, so you can mark your cables and stuff like this. Get organized. I keep telling the Cubs and stuff, It's about knowing where everything is. Everything needs a place, and put everything in its place. All right, because that's how you find it when you need it. You're not searching around like somebody else I know in this house. All right, the Nico. I'm a huge fan of Nico. Nico's a friend of the channel. They have changed the game when it comes to impact sets. I know they got a lot of other great products, but impact socket sets are where they're just killing it. Half-inch drive master impact socket set, 65-piece standard SAE and metric. I know a lot of you are asking for metric only, and if somebody starts carrying metric only sets like this, if they come out with a master set metric only, I will be on top of it. But I haven't seen anybody doing that yet, at least not at a reasonable price. Anyway, you're getting deeps, shallows, swivels, extensions, and a ratchet in a nice blow molded case. Nice-ish. It's blow molded case. They're only so nice. Anyway, the fact is, for $161, that's not a bad deal. Now, they do go on sale from time to time. Let me see, over the last year, there was, looks like 2 weeks in the middle of the summer where they dropped down to the 100 teens kind of area. But usually they're floating in this range. If you do find a sale, it's actually this is kind of sale because usually they're at like 180. I thought the price seemed a little bit cheap. Well, it's 15% off and 189. There you go. Duh. Anyway, so $161.49. If you've been looking to upgrade your sockets and you just want to get a one and done solution, this is it right here. I use this set all the time. When we are at the RV, I take it with me for the RV. I use it in my vehicles. If you watched us doing the brake jobs on my truck, doing the brake jobs on Duncan's truck this summer, you saw this set in use. We use it all the time. Popomon. Okay. Now, we talk about their power tools all the time, but apparently the best-selling thing from Popomon, and I kind of got to agree with this, is the 396-piece the bit set for rotary tools. This is for your Dremel and Dremel-like tools. This has got all the bits. Do you need this bit? Do they have that bit? Yes, they have that bit. They have all the bits. It's a huge selection of bits. You got stones, you got burrs, you got sanding discs, sanding wheels, grinding wheels, all of it. It has all the bits. In a nice little suitcase style case. It's got a clear top so you can look right in and go, okay, da. And for $40, this is the kind of thing I'd probably buy like once every couple of years as I go through them, because they're consumables, right? You'll go through them, parts will get lost, yeah, and then, in a couple of years, 2-3 years, you buy another set, $35, and I have everything right there with me, and if I need to take it with me, I could take it with me, but it stores real nice, because it's not something I'm using every day, but when I need it, I need it. And it's always something obscure. Like, I need a grinding stone that's got that kind of curved point on it so I can do this weird angle or something. Or I need this cutting disc. Or I need the little tiny wire brush. They're all in there. All right. Next up, the engineer scissors. These have been a huge hit. When I saw these, we talked about it. People thought this is a great deal. Now, since then, Harbor Freight's come out with a set, and I've got them somewhere. But I also got to say these, I need to do a comparison between the two. I got to tell you, though, these are pretty cool. I like them a lot. Apparently, a lot of other people do. 1957. They're not. Let me see a picture here. It shows you about the size on them. So the decent size, good and sharp. They got some other little features in it. Look, they've got cut rope, cut insulation, leather belt. It's got a wire cutter built into it as well. You can cut it with wire, but there's a little, where's the picture of the wire cutter? There it is. Little wire cutter built in there, so that makes it that much easier when you're dealing with all stuff. That's it. These are they're electrician scissors is what they're called. All right. Outdoor power equipment. We all got really excited when they started offering outdoor power equipment that would work with the cordless tool line that our power tools work with. And we're like, this is great. Here's the deal. 20 volts, 18, 20, 24, isn't really enough for most outdoor power equipment needs. If you've got a really small yard, really light work, maybe it does. Now, in some cases where it takes 2 batteries, and we'll jump it up to 40 volt by using 2 of your batteries. Cool, but guess what? As I said before, batteries are a consumable. Do you want to consume them by mowing the yard every day or doing chainsaw work with your power tool batteries? It's going to chew those up, and then you got to do some work on your car or on your house or whatever. And guess what? Battery's dead. Doesn't take a full charge. That's why, and I gotta tell you, that's what I love about these. And the Cadillac of outdoor power equipment is Ego, made by Shervon. These guys know batteries. They've been doing batteries forever. The 56 volt line is the sweet spot. And they've got a super high tech battery in there. All the electronics that manage the power and the heat and all that kind of stuff. And this chainsaw is just, it's a beaver with anger issues is what it is. $300 on that with the 4 amp hour battery. The battery alone is like, I think that's the price on the battery on the 4 amp hour battery. I could be wrong, but the batteries aren't cheap. So getting that with the battery and the charger and all that for that price, that's a great deal. Now, here's the thing. Often there are sales on Ego stuff, but usually the battery isn't included. Not included, not included. Now, here's a string trimmer with a 2.5 amp hour battery for $220. That's down 12%. Here's 32% off. Charger not included. Battery and charger not included, my bad. So just be aware when you're looking at these, get the batteries, buy the combo kits when you can when they're on sale, because there are some ridiculously good prices on combo kits. I don't know how they do it, but they do. All right, this one. This has been one of these, the table saws that goes back and forth. Let me back up. I've said for a while that this is the table saw to get if you need portability or compact space management. Okay, I always say you should always have the biggest table saw that you can use, and I won't not going to change from that. Table saws are one of the most dangerous tools in your shop or that you can use. They have the hot spinning blade of death and finger eating. All right, and that's why SawStop's making all the money that they're making. Okay, and that patent, its days are numbered. It's going to be coming close here, and we'll start seeing these companies come out with versions of it. But till then, $450. This thing is almost as big as a shop style table saw. It's got an outfeed table built into it. It's got the extension on the rip fence. It uses the ratchet like mechanism like you see on the DeWalt. It comes with the rolling stand on it, and the table is bigger than most other job site table saws, and definitely bigger than those compact table saws. The compact job sites, I see lots of people going and looking at those for their shop. Don't do it. Those are made for ripping lumber, and that's about it, okay? This thing is as close as you're going to get to a contractor style, aka hybrid style table saw without taking up the space, because then when you're not using it, you fold it up, you roll it into the corner, and it gets out of your way. I have a decent sized shop now. We have over 1,000 square feet in the shop. I've got currently in my shop, I have 4 table saws. I've got a compact. I've got a style like this from Evolution. I have the Delta rebranded as Rigid, which is your typical solid table saw for a shop. And then I also have, I just picked up it's called Vintage Grizzly that I picked up for $100. We're going to be doing a refurbishment job on. Anyway, I can't say enough about this saw. If you're looking for a saw, definitely consider this one. All right, next up, we're getting close to the end. Westinghouse. That's the third one in the trifecta of generators that you see over at Amazon. The 2200 watts super quiet for $478, not a great price on this, but when it was on sale, that's why. When this thing goes on sale, it's at a great price. It's a great little generator, nice, small, portable, does the basic stuff. It can be linked, all of these that we've shown can be linked in to run with a second generator, to run on parallel there. You get more power, you get backup power, that kind of stuff. Great solution there. Anyway, $479, but they have other ones, and there's almost always sales going on with these, and a lot of them, as you can see, are dual fuel. Here's a dual fuel. $12,500 dual fuel for $1,000. Whole home safety right there. Winter who? Hurricanes who? That's what you need. You know what? And a lot of people have been saying, like, you got to get the propane one. Nobody needs gas, yada, yada, yada. And then I had a lot of people during the last hurricanes last year in Florida where their gas systems at home got knocked out. It happens. California gas systems get knocked out. When things move, it's not just the gas stations that get affected. All right. So anyway, look at this. Here's a 9,500 watt dual fuel. It's on sale for $950 with a 5% off coupon. There's a whole bunch. I'm not going to list them all. They usually have a good selection of sales on those. Now, Westinghouse, are they a grade 2? I wouldn't say so. I would call them, let's call them a grade 3.5. They're like a C plus, maybe a B minus, more of a B minus, rather than like the Predators and the and the Champions. I would say they're a B plus. This is in that B minus kind of realm. All right, and last one that we got here for you is the drill holder wall mounts. All right, these things are fantastic. In fact, I'm actually making the space in my shop to put up a couple of these right now, because when it comes to storage, I have shelving, I have other stuff, but stuff like this, yeah, could I build it? Yeah, but by the time I got the wood, and assembled everything and then got it up, and the price of wood these days, I mean, it's coming down some, but it's still not as cheap as it used to be. But you know what? I would rather pay the $42, $43 and just put this up and be done, have my stuff stored, and get to work on my actual project than working on my garage or my shop. If that's what you want, if you like making the stuff for your shop, then you do you. That's great. But for some of us, that's not the thing we want to do. We want to just get the stuff stored and then focus on the other stuff. And that's why I go with something like that. Anyway, there you go. That is your top deals from last year based on what people bought off the channel. Now, let me just say this. Don't worry. I can't see who bought what. All right. All it tells me is you posted a link and this is what people bought. That's all I know. So I can't say like, oh, George bought these or Stephanie bought those. No, we don't get that kind of level of detail. I don't want to see that. You don't want me to know it. We're all good. So there you go. As I said, links down below. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We're on there. Basically, we do a lot of Instagram, TikTok is a lot of behind the scenes here for the family, Western kind of life, RV kind of life, going back and forth between Montana and Nevada, hunting, fishing, cooking, family stuff, rodeo. The Cubs do some rodeo stuff. So if you like to see morons on bulls, I love them, but they're getting on bulls. So anyway, if you like to see that sort of stuff, follow us over there. Facebook is the group with over 100,000 members. People like you trying to save and trying to help each other out. So it's savings, it's questions, comments, all sorts of stuff, and it's troll free. We hunt trolls. We're dedicated. We have a dedicated group of troll hunters over there. So it's all friendly folk. We get rid of all the bad sorts. So you can actually get the information you want rather than, a lot of these other groups and stuff. You post a question and the next thing you're like, you should look it up, or like only some loser would post that. We don't allow that kind of stuff. So it's friendly folks who are trying to actually be helpful, and that's what we like about it. And you know what? If it grows and gets bigger, great. And if it doesn't, that's fine because we got the people we want. Anyway, check us out over there. Don't forget to chomp the old like button, smash the subscribe, ring the bell where you're at it because YouTube won't believe you otherwise. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. Hope you had a happy new year. Hope, in fact, your year is blessed and wonderful. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.